right, good morning. We're going to do a quick one here before going into the gym. Let's talk about accountability, the importance specifically of self accountability. So, this one is going out to my folks who, more often than not, are training alone. So, what I mean by training alone is that you aren't specifically signing up for a class that you show up to, where if you don't show up, then there's a financial penalty. There's someone who will reach out to you and say, hey, you were supposed to be here and you weren't here, whether that's a class or whether it's working with a coach in person, a personal trainer, anything along those lines. Also, for those folks who maybe there's not even any sort of repercussions or penalty or anything like that for signing up for a gym slot and then you don't show up for that gym slot. All they do is cancel it, no big deal, that sort of a thing. I remember back during COVID when we here in the state of Illinois were going through varying levels of shutdowns of gyms for those that chose to follow that particular process. When we were reintegrating, having people from the public back into gyms, there would be time slots. Even for large chains, there would be slots where you would sign up for a slot that you were going to be inside the gym, because I know for a gym that I was going to at the time, they didn't want more than like a certain number of people, I think, inside of that commercial gym because of social distancing and some other details, I think, at that time. However, back to the point, self accountability. It is extremely, it's critical that if you are somebody who primarily trains alone and doesn't have a specific like external sort of system that's in place to follow up and issue accountability or a penalty or anything like that if you don't show up, I think it's extremely critical that you put something that's in place. So whether that is that you partner up with someone else, not specifically to work out with, however, someone else that you know, you if you say, hey, I'm going to work out at 9 a.m. Wednesday morning, expect a text from me at 9:15 a.m. showing me inside the gym, like a selfie or a picture or something like that. Partnering up with somebody who you know that when they don't have that text by 9:15, they're shooting you a text at 9:16 going, yo, where are you at? And even those folks who will maybe even push you, not maybe, those folks who will push you to say, okay, and if you don't show up, then what are you going to do? So that would be, let's call it like a second layer too. So one, that person who's kind of in your corner, I call it, who when you shoot a message to, one, they'll be that person that'll follow up and go like, hey, where were you at? And then two, would also challenge you to say, okay, and if you don't follow through with it, what's going to happen? Because it's not always about the reward. Like, here's what you get if you follow through. Because there's some stuff like you just do it because you said you were going to do it. It does not everything needs to like have a cookie here. So there's that second piece where it's like, all right, and if you don't follow through, what are you going to do? And that's the piece that I think many times can be missing when it comes to when folks are working on self accountability, however, trying to get some partnership with that is, does that accountability partner also ask that question of you? Okay, well, if you don't, then what's going to happen? So what is a particular, for lack of a better way to put it, like a penalty that you're putting in place? What's something that you will have to do if you're not doing that thing that you said you were going to do? In the past, I've actually taken that, and instead of it being something where I'm counting on another person to partner up with me, because I did initially say self accountability and then I went down the partner route. However, if I was specifically counting on myself to do it, one of the things that I did for a short period of time was, if I didn't follow through with spending 30 minutes on this particular task each day, then I had to donate $30 to a particular cause or a particular charity. And this is not me like not wanting to donate. It's just that $30 each time, it really, if I had to do that, it really kind of stuck out to me because I was like, well, yeah, I'm doing a good thing because I'm donating the $30, and also that's $30 like 4 to 5 times a week, that can add up pretty fast if you're not careful. So just wanted to throw that out there. Just accountability is really something that just heavily thinking about recently when it comes to training. So if you again are somebody who's training primarily by yourself and you have somebody in your life, whether it be personally or professionally, like if it's a coach, then follow up with that person and make sure that it's somebody who, one, will do a follow up, say like, hey, you said you were going to do this, how's that going? And or two, will say, all right, and if you don't follow through, what's the penalty going to be? What are you going to do? And then also take that same frame of mind or that same tactic with yourself and say to yourself, okay, if I don't follow through on said thing, here is the accompanying task that I'm going to do as my penalty. And if you can make that penalty something that actually benefits someone, not just some like sadistic punishment of yourself, I think that's even better. All right, let's go train.